All right, I'm going to do another tutorial today. This is not interactive. I'm recording it, so hopefully it's going to be helpful. Had some questions from some users on how to do things like uh, sort of picking a team that you're going to manage and being able to commentate on other games, as you see Al and I do on Out of the Park Baseball. So I'm going to combine that with some other questions that I've had, and I'm going to see, hopefully this tutorial is going to help you guys out. So you know who you are, and they're all good questions. So I'm going to see if I can kind of get everything sort of set up for you. So we're going to go, we're in the Out of the Park. And we're going to create a new game. And what I'm going to do is show you guys how to create a game. Right, we're going to just put in a series of great teams. I'm going to try to think off the top of my head from the 16 original franchise. We're going to probably, I don't know, I guess I'll make it into a tournament or something. I'm not sure yet. So let's just go on with it. It doesn't matter. What applies for a tournament applies for a season replay. So let's get on to it. All right. If you're ready, I'm ready. And hopefully OBS is going to behave itself today. That would be really, 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 really good, right? Okay. So let's jump into this. Out of the Park 19. Less Byzantine interface. First thing we do, let's call this a new game. So I'm just going to call this, right, Tutorial League, even if it doesn't matter. Okay. So I'm going to add a new league. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a league creation wizard. And yeah, let's do a create historical league. Okay. So in fact, yeah, I think we'll just do I think we're going to do, let me see here. All right. Yeah. I'm just going to do a season just to show you how to do it. All right. So let's do, no, I might as well just do something with the Pirates. Again, it doesn't matter. So you select your era. Okay. Again, this is all for setting up. So, and I'm going to select 1971. Again, this is all broken down into eras in baseball. Okay. You select your era. You select your year. Now, if you want to do the random players instead, you can do that. If you select this will select random players from all eras instead of real rosters. So you can do that, and then you can set up what you want there. But that's not the focus of this tutorial. Focus of this tutorial is basically how to set up so that you can pick a team to manage through the season, but you can also switch jobs if you want to commentate. All right, so we're going to go from this into actually playing part of the game so you can see how it all works. Okay. If you want, again, a shorter tutorial or whatever based upon how to create custom type leagues, that's what we'll do. Okay. So we're in step 1 of 5 of this historical league. Okay. It says, now what I've done here, right, we have summary. But what we want to do is we want to click on Show Advanced Options. Okay. Just so you can see. All right. This is really important because if you don't, when it brings this, it says optimize player ratings for career play. Well, you can do single season replay if you want. This is what I like to do. Go to Advanced Options. This is for player optimization. Okay. What's really, really important, okay, are these things down here. So you don't need to select your path to the database, guys. It's right here. Okay. Of course, it's not going to be Joe. It's going to be whoever you are. Okay. So in other words, when you installed Out of the Park 19 Baseball, it automatically, there's 2 databases that come with it. One is the Lyman database. The other is the one that belongs to Out of the Park. So the one that belongs to Out of the Park is the one that's more robust for this game. So leave this at this. Now you can base the current ratings on real stats, which is what I do. This is important. Potential ratings on peak seasons of career. So career totals you don't want, because that kind of just gives you that kind of weights down career, so that such that you're going to get mediocre performance. And in my video about this, another longer video I did, I explained why the Stratomatic career historical disc really just doesn't work. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to make sure you have peak seasons of career. You can leave these alone. You can leave all this alone. You can import real lefty-righty splits. Now, I would say if you were doing something like I do from, like, I don't know, 1918, you really don't have to do this because that wasn't a stat that was kept with any sort of consistency, and it wasn't right. This came along later with platooning, right? Managers in those days weren't worried about lefty-righty splits. Back in the teens and the 20s and the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. Then once Stengel started with the whole platooning thing, then this started to become important, okay? But it wasn't from 1871 up until Casey Stengel in the 50s, 40s, 50s, when he started the whole idea of platooning, which baseball glommed onto like white on rice. Down here, you can do player adjustments again. I wouldn't worry about those, and that's not the focus of this tutorial. It's not going to affect. So I will bring in lefty-righty splits, 1971, all right? So down here, click Next Step. Okay, so we have a database. And we wait, and we wait, and we sing songs. We can sing Kazakhstani folk songs if we want while we're doing this, waiting. Remember, it's taking longer, too, because I'm also importing the complete history of baseball up to 1971. This gives you a good sense of history. Unless you're a walking baseball encyclopedia. And I consider myself a pretty good historian of the game, as is our friend Clinton Parks. You're not going to know every single player in baseball. That's just crazy. Okay, if you're doing a straight-up season replay, click Use this real historical transactions if you want. If you actually want to have those trades happen, use real historical lineups. I think that's really important. If you want to mess with minor leagues, you can. I usually don't. Okay, I usually leave this unchecked as well. Okay, because I don't want this. If I check this and I don't have enough players, and this is especially again more for early baseball, it's going to fill the minors with fictional players. I don't want fictional players at all. So for me, I leave this unchecked. Okay, so that's step 2. Let's go to step 3. For player development, first thing I do here, unless you want to play GM, I don't. I use out-of-the-park baseball strictly for what-if scenario, season replays, and tournaments. I couldn't give one whit about finances. I don't care. So I uncheck that. Okay, so player development. Okay, so recalculate player ratings before each season using real stats. You can do that. You can use the talent ratings in out-of-the-park development engine, and then you can disable player development recommended for replay leagues. This is really up to you. I usually just leave it at the default recalc. So we're done with step 3. Okay. I hate face gen, so I have it disabled. No fictional pictures, okay, at all. So what I do is I use real pictures. Again, you can get real pictures from the Action PC forums. You can get real pictures if you download the Face Pack mod. It's strategy baseball for that game. So FaceGen is really awful. When I started using it, Dave Parker was white and Hannes Wagner had mutton chops. Well, Hannes Wagner never wore facial hair, and of course, yeah, Dave Parker, African American. Ratings, this is all up to you. Professional baseball uses 20 to 80. I like 1 to 100. Al likes 1 to 10. We're all different reasons. I've explained that before. Okay, so set your ratings. Okay, and we're going to go to next step. All right, so tutorial league, you put in your name. Of course, there's my, okay. Now, here's what's important. You need, if you don't do this next step, you're not going to be able to switch teams. Okay, so what I do for these types of leagues, and I'm doing right now, I play in commissioner mode. This is first season replay, and we'll go back And I'm going to do this for a tournament. So I do want to show you that for tournaments, you don't necessarily have to do this. I also like cannot be fired. Playing in commissioner mode allows you to switch teams. Okay, so right now I want to start with my beloved Pittsburgh Pirates, world champions of 1971. So I am now employed by the Pittsburgh Pirates. Okay. So remember, commissioner mode cannot be fired. Commissioner mode allows you to switch, right? Any team you want. So I'm starting with the Pirates. Okay. And I'm going to click Start Game. Now again, there's a bunch of advanced options I didn't go into. That's in my longer out of the park tutorials. So this one's a little bit more general, if you will. In other words, I don't want to be. Why do I want to go over what I've already gone over? Try to get to the heart of it. Because again, a couple people asked. I had a good friend of the channel ask. And the reason I don't do names, I don't know how people are about having their names in something like this, not a live stream. So he said, can I not just manage a team and then but commentate on other games? And the answer is yes, and this is how you do it. Commissioner mode is really super important, and cannot be fired is nice if you want job security. And also just because that gives you complete freedom all the way around. Okay? So personal message, blah, 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 blah. Now down here, if you just want to jump into your league, if you don't want to do anything else, you can uncheck all these because we're going to run through spring training, and I don't feel like getting stopped for anything like that. So just for this league, okay, I'm going to just uncheck all this because I don't care. Okay, there we go. Now you can always change this. Again, your new subscription once the season starts. But I don't really care that so-and-so from the Cubs was injured for 2 weeks because of a torn Achilles heel, which I know takes longer than 2 weeks. I know I've had one. Okay, so there we go. All right, so now we're set up. Right, here's me, and I work for the Pirates. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way and have it play until opening day. Okay, so we're going to do that. Busy, busy, busy. There we go. Okay, so we are at opening day, and this uses as played schedules. So today, opening day, I'm going to be playing the Phillies and all kinds of stuff like that. Now, if I go to my manager page, so this is going to be your manager page. One of the things that makes Out of the Park difficult is there's really just all kinds of menu options. You've got all the stuff down the side. You've got these middle menus. You've got the top menu. You've got these little icons up here. So it goes all over the place. So let's go to my home page, Manager's Office. Okay. GM and Manager Actions. Okay. So my current active team is the Pittsburgh Pirates. Okay. So you can see that there. If I go to that. Now, maybe, okay, so let's go current active team, Pittsburgh Pirates. Let me see here. Yeah, McGregor, available jobs. Okay. Initially, so let's say I see a game that I would rather commentate. Okay. So I'm just going to pick a team, right? And it's going to say, all right, and because I'm commissioner, I can control everything and I can't be fired. So let's say for all you Red Sox fans out there that there's a game I want to do with the Red Sox. Okay, so I apply as GM manager. It says this will replace your current position with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Well, yes and no. Okay, so let's click OK. There. Now I'm the manager of the Boston Red Sox on opening day. And how about that, right? So it's going to be New York Yankees. So I just want to commentate this game. Okay. So let's go back to Manager's Office. I always work from here. Okay. So let's autoplay the next game. And now we're going to play ball against the Yanks. Now remember, I'm actually going to be managing the Pirates through the season, okay? But I want to commentate, right, if I'm streaming, or maybe, I'm not a streamer and I just want to watch a game between the Red Sox and Yankees, or maybe I just want to manage one of them for a game. Well, I can do that, okay? So we've got play ball. So if we click on play ball, all right, we're going to go to this nice thing. All right, these things you can set up, obviously designated hitter. Yeah, I'll select yes. Okay, I usually leave this at no warm-up requirement. Again, this is all for you guys. But what's important here is down here where it says simulate world and background. Make sure that you have no selected, because if you click yes, what's going to happen is it's going to play out all the other games. So I want to manage the Bucks. I don't want the other games being played out. Okay? All right. So very, very important that you have simulate world in background set to no. All right. So now we're set Yankees, Red Sox. Okay. If you want to manage, you can set, right? So here, set to human control. So if I wanted to manage the Yankees, if I press this, it's now under human control. That's me. I can set each one if I want. Maybe I don't want to set up lineups. But the idea is you just want to watch a game or you want to commentate a game. Okay? So I'm going to set them back to Ralph Houck. The other nice thing with Out of the Park Baseball and a bunch of other baseball games now do this is you actually have the manager for that year. Okay? If I want to do the Red Sox, same thing. I can set them all to me, or I can set them all computer AI. If you're going to stream a game and you just want to announce the game, you don't want to worry about any managing or anything like that, this is your setup. Okay? Most important now at this stage is to remember everything AI, super, super important here, disable Baseball News Network. Okay? Because I don't want any games going on in the background. I don't want that. Okay? So we're all set. There's our positions. This isn't the lineups. These are our positions. Okay? Nice little icons here show you, though, compare player versus player, which is kind of nice. So you can see, we can say, well, geez, how? Okay, so we have Stan Bonson and Ray Culp. Well, they're saying that Ray Culp is probably predicting the edge in this based on stats. You can see, right, overall ratings here, 2.5 stars for Bonson, 3 stars for Ray Culp. Okay, so that's using that development engine. All these stars here just mean potential, stuff like that. I don't know how the Yankees and Red Sox did in 1971. I know that the Orioles met the Pirates in the World Series and lost. So I'm going to click Start Game. It's going to take you to the ballpark that you want. And there we are. So we're at Fenway. Now, you'll notice right here, there's no managerial options whatsoever except for continue. Okay. Oh, I forgot to also mention on the previous screen, and I'll go through this again with the tournament so you can see it. There's a little box that you'll check pause between plays. Okay. Actually, let's see if there's any sort of options at this point that we can do that. Let's go to options. Let's see if that's actually there. I also want to do a thing to show you guys how to do play-by-play speed. Actually, I can do that now. So if you set to custom delay mode per line, the delay milliseconds, 400 milliseconds. Out of the Park still working with under community pressure to work on the play-by-play. This gets the play-by-play very close, not exactly on time, but close to actually what's happening on the field. Okay, so there's the deal with that. Okay, and again, I'm going to run through this one more time, set up a tournament, which is what I should have done. But it's really all the same as far as commentating. Okay, so let's go back to game action. I'm just going to play a little bit of this. You can either click on continue, or you can just hit your enter key and you can start your thing. So let's just commentate an inning. Welcome to opening day 1971. We're at Fenway Park. opener between rivals New York Yankees and Boston Red Sox. Promises to be a good season all around. Let's look at the starting defense for the Boston Red Sox. Okay, so blah, 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 blah. I do that. I've done that. I just press enter. There's your play-by-play, which if you're commentating, I would suggest you don't read. Anyhow, so Clark swings. Griffin has it and flips to the out. Scott pulls that one in. See how you can do that, right? You still get everything. If you read the play-by-play, the play-by-play is good to have almost synced up with on-field action in case there's a strange play. Also, because of the way out of the park kind of works in terms of the on-field animation, sometimes it looks like a player is absolutely safe at home by light years when in fact he's out. So, of course, you can always say, oh, wait a minute, that was from up here, it looked like that, but you can get the situation from the play-by-play. Set it at a custom 400 milliseconds. I really experimented with it, and that seems to be the closest. Okay, so, I'm not going to try to commentate the whole thing. You guys are smart. You get the idea. So Thurman Munson, ooh, he gets plunked. All right. So, there you go. Now, if you did have the network enabled, the games would be played out, but you can see that live simulation is not active. Remember, you don't want that because you want to switch back to your team. You're just commentating here. Okay, so we're back to game action. Again, all this stuff here, you can do all your whatever, right? You want to switch the, your 3D view to whatever. You can do that. You can change camera angles. If you want it set to wide, you can go to default, so a little bit further back. This, all you can do. You can even move players around, but that's a whole different tutorial. I don't think the Red Sox mind hanging out up there, whatever. Okay, let's just go ahead and complete this game so we can quick play. You have a choice. You can actually save game in this, which is really, really nice. Or I'm just going to complete the game, where you can quick play till you have a runner in scoring position, till an inning. If you are planning on streaming games, obviously you're not going to use these. Okay, so if you get in situations where you do want to show pitch-by-pitch mode, it's right up here. So what I'm trying to do here is cover as much as I can. Configure screen, you can do all kinds of things here. You can fix coordinates and all this kind of stuff, but that's for you to play with. Again, not in the focus of this tutorial. So we're going to just quick play this game, and we're going to finish it. And that's it. And wow, boy, this one would have been a fun one to broadcast. Damn, how about it? So the Red Sox pulled this one out in 13 innings, beating the Yanks 6-5 on opening day. Right? So you guys have seen all this kind of stuff. So we're going to leave the game. All right. So here we are. And then for some reason, Cleveland Indians, we're going to be playing whenever that next game is. All right. But I really don't want to do that, right? I want to get back to the Pirates. Okay. But just so you guys can see here, if we look at standings, all right, you can see, right, so my Bucks haven't played anything yet, okay? Now, a couple teams have, right, but I want it off because I don't want any of this to happen. So there we see Red Sox 1-0, Yankees 0-1, okay? So I'm going to get back to my page, available jobs, all right, so it still has me there. It shows the little pirate logo by my name, but I'm actually managing the Red Sox. So no, I want the Pirates. So do I want to work with the Pirates to replace your current position with the Red Sox? Yes. Okay, just that simple. Now I'm back as the Pirate manager, right? So I can do all kinds of jobs, and so you can look at your team's homepage. You can look at schedules. You can look at Major League Baseball. You can look at the schedule for Major League Baseball, right? So that's from the MLB page or whatever the name of your league is. When I set up this tournament really, really quickly, you're going to see a thing. It's going to say EL, Exhibition League. So whatever this is. So you're looking and you're saying, wow, man, there's some cool games here. And let me see. What would be really, really fun to do? And you'd find one. Oh, here's a great one. Cardinals and Cubs. I want to do Cardinals and Cubs. So it doesn't matter which team you pick. You just pick one of these teams to manage. Make sure that the games aren't playing out that day, and you're all set. So unlike Action PC, which I will say Action PC is my second favorite baseball sim, although damn did it cost a fortune getting all the seasons and everything. You guys know Out of the Park has everything, right? But one of the things that Action PC allows you to do very easily, right? You have the schedule that comes up for the day, and you can just select which games you want to do. And actually, maybe even at the end of this, I'll bring up Action PC and show you how that works for commentating, because that's really nice. So a little bit more streamlined. So I'm going to save this only because there might be some questions and I can go back to this tutorial. Okay, so we're done with that. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it with a tournament. And the reason why I want to do this for tournaments for you is I want to show you a couple tricks with tournaments that aren't readily apparent, including how to use ballparks in tournaments, how to play out tournaments such that you can watch each game, commentate on each game, manage the teams that you want. Out of the Park, they do have tutorial videos up there. They're good, but none of them that are directly related sort of to streaming games. Okay, so now we've already saved the game, so we're going to go to the Out of the Park start screen. So the current database is being saved. All right, so now we're going to do a tournament. So we're back at the opening screen. Let's pretend that you've just opened Out of the Park 19. Okay, so we're going to go to Historical Exhibition. I'm going to click that. All right. So you can select a World Series, and we're going to talk about selecting the World Series, but this it all has to do with the same thing. All right. So let's select the number of teams. I'm just going to do Sweet 16 here, right? The original 16 franchises. All right. So this is beautiful. This is just so beautiful. All right. So again, I'm going to go as quickly as I can. Sorry if I'm not picking amazing teams. All right. Again, you have your eras. So you select your era, select your year. So this time, let's do 1978. I'm going to select a team, and here you get these one-loss records. So if you're not even sure, you have them here. Maybe I want to do a worst of the worst league. I don't know. You know, almost anything is possible in Out of the Park baseball. So I could pick the poor Blue Jays from 1978, who, as you can see, didn't really do well. But I want to make this a great teams tournament, so why not? Okay, so there we go. 1975 Yanks are in. Okay, well, let me see. I want to put in the 1953 Brooklyn Dodgers, because you guys know, in addition to the Buccos, I'm also a Dodgers fan, Tigers fan. Oh, speaking of the Tigers, let's do that. Okay, hopefully I should probably be doing American League than National League first. So let me pick another team here, guys. Sorry about that. So for this, I'm going to go to Baseball's Rebirth, and I am going to pick 1929. Again, wanting to do just the original 16 franchises. Okay, Philadelphia Athletics. I strongly suggest if you want to do this, and if you're just doing like you want to pick, say, you know, the 16 original franchises, or you want to do or you want modern day 30 franchises, but you can pick all through history. Split the leagues up, because it's really simple. It's like, oh, geez, wait, oh my God, I did all this and I forgot a Cubs team, or I forgot a Tigers team. Okay, so again, we're going to go down here, and let's see. So I got Baseball Boom, I guess, which has to do with, I don't know that baseball actually boomed, but there you go. All right, so again, and I know some of this is real retread for you guys, but I want to show you some things. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing and set up all the ballparks, although I'm liking what I'm picking so far, so I may actually save this and actually create a tournament from this. All right, so what do we got? Yankees, Athletics. Okay, I need an Indians team. Let's go back to modern times. Okay, so the power years. Ooh, huh? And let's go to 1995, and let's look for our Cleveland Indians. So there we go. So Yanks, Athletics, Tigers, Indians. Okay. I said original 16 franchises, so that's what it'll be. So let's go to baseball's rebirth. Okay, and we're going to go back in time, 1922, and we're going to select the St. Louis Browns. Because that was one of the originals. Again, they turned into the Baltimore Orioles, but let's put the St. Louis Browns in there. Why not? They finished one game behind the New York Yankees that year. One game, just one game. It's a great team. All right. Continuing on, I'll see if once I get good and my everything gets straightened out for me, my life and everything. I'm going to be actually helping Alexander Raffini with a program called Shotcut, so that I could have actually faded out and faded back in when all this is done. But instructional videos, you have the little thing you can move ahead if you know how to do this, right? Okay, so we're getting down. Let's see what else. Who else is in the American League? Yeah, the Chicago White Sox. Okay, so let's pick the White Sox. And we know that the White Sox had a good team in 1959, the Go-Go Sox, right? We'll pick 1959, and we're going to pick the Chicago White Sox. They were 94 and 60 that year. So first time back to the series since, well, yeah, since the Black Sox, really. Okay, let's see. Who do we have? Yanks, Athletics. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need yes, 2 more now that I'm missing. And I know you guys yelling at the screen. Oh, pick this team. You're missing this team. Getting there. Okay, Red Sox. Geez, all this talk about the Red Sox. And so for the Red Sox, let's choose, because you guys would want it this way, wouldn't you, Red Sox fans? 2004, Boston Red Sox. Rather important year in their history. And let me see. So I got the Tigers. I need one more team. I'm so bad. I am a dyed-in-the-wool National League fan. So Senators. Always miss the poor Senators. Okay, and for the Senators, let's do the only year they ever won a world championship. Right? Or not the only, I think. Yeah, it was. 1924. They did win a world championship. This was close to the end of Walter Johnson's career. So there. So I've got my American League set up now. National League. Should be able to burn this one more quickly. So I don't have any dead ball teams in there, and that's okay. That's all right. So let's go to defensive era for this one. Say golden years. And so, yeah, and I want to pick 1960 and Pittsburgh Pirates, who beat the Yanks that year in the World Series thanks to Maz's big home run, right? Okay, so now I want the Brooklyn Dodgers, of course. Brooklyn Dodgers just have to be in because I love me my Brooklyn Dodgers. And I'm going to pick the 1949 Dodgers because I'm doing a replay with them on Appa Baseball, Ernie Harwell. Okay, so I'm going to pick Brooklyn. Certainly not the year that they won the World Series, but an absolutely dominant team. Jackie Robinson's third full season in the majors. And this was starting in 1950, Jackie was allowed to retaliate. So good stuff. All right, so Chicago Cubs. Chicago Cubs are always tricky, aren't they? So for the Cubs, let's go with 1945 was a good Cubs team. So let's go 1945. Certainly I could have gone 2016. I could do that. All right, so 1945, Chicago Cubs. I know, long video. I get it. But look at these teams, huh? These are awesome teams, man. Okay. Actually trickier even than the Cubs is the Philadelphia Phillies. So I could go back and snag the 1915 Phillies, but that would be just one dead ball team. So I'm not going to do that. I could do the 1950 Phillies, But there's one guy whose channel I used to catch all his games when he was doing a Phillies replay. I don't know what I've done to piss in his parade, but whatever. But in honor of him, for his Philadelphia Phillies, I'm going to pick the 2008 Philadelphia Phillies. Tired of reaching out to you, brother. You probably listen to these. You have my email. It'd be nice to talk, but it's all cool. So this is for you, pal. You're out there. All right, we need Cincinnati Reds. For the Reds, of course, everybody would think, yeah, 1975 Reds. Well, let's mix it up a little bit here. 1940, the Reds had a damn good team in 1940. So I'm going to pick Cincinnati Reds. Also, what I'm trying to illustrate here for a lot of you guys that are new to Out of the Park is what you can do. Again, and in my longer video, explain just the crazy things you can create. And this historical exhibition type thing is beautiful. It's beautiful. Okay, and this is turning into an extra tutorial because of how to set stuff up. Because we're going to save this historical exhibition and reload it, and it's going to treat it as a season, and that's really important. And we'll get into that as we finish up here. Okay. I hope you guys are having fun, because I know I am. Okay, I want the New York Giants. So I'm going to grab, there's lots of New York Giants teams, but you know what? I'm going to take the 1921 New York Giants. First year that the Giants and Yankees met in the World Series. John McGraw, of course, hated the Yankees and hated the fact that the Yanks had to play in the Polo Grounds. That changed in 1923, again, as you know. So the Giants did beat the Yanks 1921 and 1922 in the series, which McGraw actually loved because he hated the sort of long ball game, right? In 1921, Babe Ruth had 59 home runs, and McGraw just was not convinced about the home run. Later on, he did warm up to Ruth, and to a certain extent. But yeah, McGraw and Cobb kind of were not so fond. So this would be a good team to have in there. Okay, so what do we have? Well, we have the Dodgers, we have the Cubs. Who are we missing here? We're always missing these, any sort of outlier teams, or whatever. Oh my goodness gracious! Pirates, Dodgers, Cubs, Phillies, Reds, Giants. Boy, I hate when this happens, don't you? And it's like, okay, so let me just select a team from, somebody in here. I'm going to find somebody. I just need to remind myself of teams. We haven't done anything from the defensive era, have we? So 1980. Okay, so we don't want Mets. They're not original. Oh, okay, so we need a Braves team. There we go. Braves are always one of the teams that I forget, right? So let's see. The Miracle Braves. Yeah, we might have to go to Milwaukee Braves. Still counts. It's the last name that counts, right? Right. So for the Braves, let's pick up 1954. It was a good Braves team. 1954. Okay. No, I'm not trying to show off any knowledge of baseball history. These are just what comes to me. Okay. So there we go. Milwaukee Braves. Oh no, not that. I went 1948. See, I'm being a dummy. There we go. And there we go. There's the ball. I was thinking, right, because this was Braves Indians World Series 1948. And I'm still missing one more. Pirates, Dodgers, Cubs, Phillies, Reds, Giants, Braves, and darn. Cardinals. Geez, how can I forget the Cardinals, man? The Cardinals are one of my favorite franchises. When the Bucks are out of the race, I root for the Cardinals. So for the Cardinals, boy, so many great Cardinal teams. Interesting, great franchise. But in the first 20 years of baseball, they weren't good. It was actually the Cardinals dynasty really started in 1926 with their win against the Yankees in the 26 series when Babe Ruth inexplicably tried to steal second. Don't know what the Bambino was thinking about that day. Maybe too many hot dogs. So let's pick the 1942 Cardinals. Good team. because you get Stan the Man. All right, look at that, look at that. All right. So I don't like designated hitters at all, except for this. Okay. Game era and strategy. You can pick whatever you could do. Default modern era, I would say maybe you could split the difference or whatever. So, and it's picking, as you can see, from these teams. All right. But because we're going to kind of split the difference down the middle, and 1949 is right there, we're going to do this using 1949 settings. Okay. I want end of season rosters. Active roster limit, you can do 25 players. I like to do 40 for these tournaments because it's nice to have that extra oomph. Leave injuries enabled. Okay, now, this is where you got to pay attention, guys. Really, really super important because this is counterintuitive. Okay, create exhibition. So we're creating the exhibition. And it's all seems like, okay, yeah, man, this makes sense. This is awesome. So now it says the exhibition series was set up successfully. You may now set the matchups and then proceed to setting rosters. Well, that's all fine. Okay. So I'm just going to leave it like this. So, you know, Red Sox, Browns, Pirates, Dodgers, whatever. You can change all these seedings the way that you want. I'm going to leave them just how they are. You can name these round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4. When I do these, I like to do best of 3, best of 5, best of 7, and then the last one in homage to the very first World Series played in 1903. Why not best of 9? So, I mean, this is, now you already see, this is a big, big tourney. You can do round robin, you can do this. I leave it at regular. That's me. Okay, so I can confirm. Okay, so it seems like you're all ready to go, but you're really, really not. Okay, so you can go to teams and rules, right? Rosters and lineups. If we click play ball, well, okay, you're like, hey, I'm all set, right? So I can play, right? And oh, how cool is this, right? The 21 Giants and 78 Yankees. We're not going to do that, all right? Rather, what we're going to do, and it's going to freak you out, but trust me on this, because this is the counterintuitive weirdness of Out of the Park 19. We're going to hit Return to Out of the Park main screen, okay? Now, it's saving everything. All right, now, if we go to Load Game, what it does automatically is down here, right? It names it Historical Exhibition, right? I'm going to rename this, okay? So I'm going to call this, yeah, I don't know what, Sweet 16 tournament. Make sure I did that, okay? So now its name's changed. Now I know that it was too, because not only was it Exhibition League, because that's what it is, but you see here, also remembering that I set it for 1949 settings. Okay, so now if I click Load Game, and you're going to see a little message pop up, and when you see this, it's actually a very happy message. First time I saw it, I'm like, oh my God, warning. Okay, so it says loading a file from a historical exhibition league will prevent it from being loaded again in the exhibition mode. Proceed anyways. Well, the first time I saw this, I thought, no, oh my God, I don't want it to be a season with a whole schedule. Click yes. Okay. So now, this could play out as a regular season, but what you do up here is you go to Exhibition League, right, EL, and go to playoff coverage. All right. Look at your playoff tree. There's your playoff tree. Okay. So we'll just use our, I don't really want to play this out, so I'm going to stop short of playing. I just want to show you what you need to do. So let's look at round 1, and let's do Red Sox Browns. Okay. So we go to back to playoff coverage. Now, I want to go to my home screen. So in this case, it's Jim Smith. I didn't change anything. Okay. So before you hit play or anything, okay, you want to make sure. Right now, I'm managing the the Yankees, whatever. I don't want to do that, okay? So I want to go to manager's office. Now here, I don't have to worry about commissioner mode, guys, okay? It says manage, and right now it says I'm currently managing the New York Yankees. Well, I want to manage either St. Louis or Boston. And again, you're not actually managing them. You're just selecting so that way you can get into that game if you want to see and play every game in the tournament, which, you know, maybe you will, maybe you won't. I don't know. Okay, so I believe that was Red Sox Browns. There. Okay, now, if I go back to this, right, I can play ball, but let's go back to our exhibition league. Okay, we're going to go to playoff coverage. Okay, now we're set. Boston Red Sox, St. Louis Browns. Believe me, guys, you do this once or twice, it's really, really simple. Okay, now there is one other thing that maybe I should show you. If you want to use the actual ballparks, there's a little bit more that you have to do. Okay, so let's go back to this. If you go back to your EL screen, and the easiest way to do it is this. If you go to standings, you have all the teams right here. So let's select White Sox. Okay, I've covered this now, I think, in 2 videos, how to do ballparks. So I'm going to set these later for me, and we can see Billy Pierce. He's just up there because I guess he's doing everything. Whatever. Click. This is once again for ballparks. Counterintuitive, so keep notes. Settings. Okay. Edit ballpark. So we go to edit ballpark. It already gives you the name. You can rename it if you want, but we know it's always been Comiskey Park for the White Sox until corporate greed took over, and now I don't even know what's called, guaranteed something or other. Before that was U.S. Cellular. Before that was Comiskey. Edit ballpark. So again, let me remind you of 2 things here. So now you're seeing a picture of Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. Well, that's not very helpful. What's saying here, Comiskey Park, but it's really not going to be Comiskey Park. All right. So you're thinking, well, maybe 3D model. Well, let's bring up the 3D model, and this is what you're going to see. This is the default park that comes along with the 30 current Major League Baseball stadiums. Now, if you really wanted to do this, you could play your whole tournament in this default ballpark. Yeah, it's a nice ballpark, but it's generic, right? It's a natural grass. It looks a lot like actually the Chicago White Sox current field, which is really kind of boring, right? But at least there's no football played on it. Okay, but I don't want that. So how do I get the proper 3D model in and park factors? I want both. Well, when you click on pictures and coordinates, right, really, really important, go down here. First thing you do, 3D model, select file. Okay. If you go to the Out of the Park forums, you don't even have to join the forums, I believe, to download things. There's just scads and scads of ballparks. You can see I've got tons of them here. I haven't even downloaded all the available parks, right? These are all 3D models. Okay, so I'm looking for Comiskey. I'm just going to use Comiskey 1910 to 1926. Just because I didn't download the later version, the ones in the 50s, so we're not going to see the sexy scoreboard or anything like that. Okay, we're not going to see that. Doesn't matter. You can always change this, guys. Okay, I'm really, really hoping that this tutorial will answer some more questions for you guys because I'd love to help. All right, so there's Comiskey. Now, what you want to do is you want to select this file, this OBJ, and as I explained in my other video, OBJ is an extension from a program called Wavefront. Wavefront is a 3D modeling program, which I've used, which is really cool. But it's kind of an industry standard thing in such the way that an OBJ file can be loaded into virtually any other 3D application. So this is universal. All right. Out of the Park, the parks that come with the game use a POD extension. But you know, so if you're looking and you want to do PNC Park, in other words, then you're going to be looking for a POD extension as opposed to OBJ. Okay, so we have OBJ, so let's click on that and we're going to load. Okay, now we still see that it's going to Comiskey Park, and you're going to see that when I bring up the 3D model. But what I want to do is I also want the ballpark factors. Okay, so you would think, okay, diagram picture. Well, all that is just a picture, and this is the default. So that's going to change. One more thing. Click on Actions. Go down here. Manually import data from file into this park. So this is going to give us ballpark effects. Now, again, you see I have Riverfront because I'm setting up the 1975 World Series to do as a streaming project because I think it's an exciting World Series. Okay, so then all you're going to do again is you're going to just scroll through your ballparks. Okay, there's Comiskey. What you want to do here, guys, then is look for this file, .prk. This is used in some other baseball sims as well. So .prk. Now, when I hit load, you can see, we'll complete, there's Comiskey Park. Want to make sure it's Comiskey Park? Hit 3D model. And there's Comiskey. Again, this is 1910 Comiskey. I don't think if you want, someday I can show you how to set cams and stuff like that. But I'm going to leave it like that. But because I moved it a little bit, I'm just going to hit Save Cam. Okay, and just update current. I can see what it's going to look like in the daytime, and of course, nowadays, which is really nice, a lot of these parks are actually using Google Earth, so we can see where Comiskey was in the south side. So that's set up. So you might want to do that for all the teams in your tournament if you really want authenticity. If you don't, leave it at the default model. Okay, so that's how you do that. Let's go back to the Exhibition League, and I don't know which one park is going to come up correctly now. Okay, again, playoff coverage. Okay, now we're ready to go. So we're actually, after all that, we're still going to get Fenway Park, and that's fine. Okay, so we're going to click play, but there's going to be, it's really, really important, again, that we don't want the world to be simulated in the background because I want to see and play or commentate every game. Okay, so let's click play. Okay. So like we did just with the 1971 league that we set up, what you want to do, this is really important, whether you're managing both teams, you're managing one team, or the AI is managing both teams. You remember how to do this from earlier in this video. Scroll down. For tournaments, again, if you want to see everything, make sure that you have no selected. And I found this out painfully. I'd set up a big tournament, and everybody was following it, and then it got bombed out. But I had yes selected, and so I got done with the game, and all of a sudden, everybody else won. And I had it a best of one for the first round, and all of a sudden, it's like, oh my God, okay, so 8 teams are knocked out. What happened? So make sure you have no selected. All right, you have all this stuff set up here. You can look at the lineup, starting pitchers. You guys can read that. So I'm going to click Start Game. And we'll be in Fenway. So we're back in Fenway after all that work with St. Louis. But now St. Louis will be set up when the series goes to St. Louis. All right, so again, we can just hit Enter. The AI is managing both teams. And I'm not, why am I going to commentate this? All right. Little thing though, let me tell you about George Sisler. George Sisler, in every baseball sim I've ever played, George Sisler, one of the greatest players of all time. If you're playing against George Sisler, so let's say I was managing or rooting for the Red Sox, right? George Sisler will kill you. It doesn't matter, man. Every game, I could tell you a quick story if we had time, but I don't want to go off. Well, I can tell you just really quickly. Some friends of mine and I back in university, we were doing a tournament using Earl Weaver baseball, right? So we did a whole draft and everything in that game. And for fun, some night I'm going to stream an Earl Weaver baseball game, complete with the with the Stephen Hawking voice, the whole thing. It's really fun. And in that, you could build your own ballparks. It was actually a very advanced sim. Anyhow, let me get to the story, right? So we're playing. My team's in first place. I named them the New York Knights, right after, the team in the natural and stuff like that. So I'm leading going into the bottom of the ninth. I think I had a one-run lead, something like that. But anyhow, George Sisler comes in, right? I thought I had this game wrapped up. It's 2 down, right? And anyhow, George Sisler just I know what it was. George Sisler hit a grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. That's what it was. And so it killed me. So, and sorry for the loss of sound there. When you click away from out of the park, the sound cuts out for a sec. Anyhow, so Sisler just will kill you. Just letting you know, George Sisler is a monster in every baseball sim I've ever played. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and complete this game. All right, so I'm going to simulate this game, and it's done. And so we see round 1, yada, 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 yada. Leave game. Okay, hit machine, nice. I didn't even look at the score or whatever the score was. Oh, 4-1. Okay, so the Brownies took the first game from the Sox, 4-1. Sorry, Red Sox fans. Always with out-of-the-park baseball, as with any app. Save. Make sure you save game. First thing you ever do. Okay. Now, what's nice, we go back again to our exhibition league. Okay, and again, playoff coverage. Okay. We can see none of these games. So we have round 1. This is a little weird to look at. So here's round 1. We see that St. Louis Browns are leading the Boston Red Sox 1-0. Pittsburgh and Brooklyn haven't played. None of these teams have played, so this is all round 1, right? Of course, these are undecided, all these rounds. So as this fills up, we go to our playoff tree. We look again. Well, there's the Browns, man, 1 over. And all these have yet to be played. Okay, so hopefully all of this makes sense. Showed you how to set up the season and using commissioner mode in season so that you can switch teams. Okay. Also with tournaments, in tournaments you don't have to use commissioner mode. So it's really important that maybe you keep this tutorial kind of bookmark, something that you can refer back to. Because I have it's not a lot yet. I just started streaming in the middle of November of 2018. So I have 80 or 81 videos up there now. And, I try to stream a lot of content, and it's going to expand from baseball too, into live magic, into other sorts of things like No Man's Sky, and music, and whatever, like me, writing music and teaching people how to program keyboards, going all over the board, man. Okay, so do all those things. Please watch the video. Any questions that you have, all right, I will answer. I know this was a lot of information. I hope it helped. I hope it helped answer some questions. Hope that it turned you on to some really, really cool things here about how setting up tournaments works. Because tournaments are really fun. I do prefer season replays, but these are fun. These are teams that I'm going to save this puppy, and probably the next game is going to be the Cardinals and Athletics, only because you guys will expect me to do the Pirates and Dodgers. Since I love both of those teams, that's going to be a great game. Besides, all right, so again, let me just recap really, really quickly. When you're doing a season replay, just make sure that you're in commissioner mode, okay? When you're doing a tournament, you don't need to be. Just make sure that you go to your manager page. So just really quickly, all right, I'm going to review this bit once again, okay? So now the next game I want to do, but I'm not going to actually play it because I want to play this one out. So I want to do the 42 Cardinals, 29 Athletics next, okay? So go to Jim Smith. You can go to available jobs. This is what you do for seasons. This is what you do in a tournament. Okay, so it says manage. So currently, St. Louis, So now I'm going to switch to the athletics. And again, let's play ball. So if I play ball. Okay, so there we go. Again, if I wanted to manage, and I love both of these teams, let's say I wanted to manage the A's, then all I got to do is blink, and that's going to all switch. Or I can just choose what I want to manage. Same thing over here. Or maybe you want to mix it up. Okay. Again, all this stuff you can change from game to game. But this is super, super important. Okay. This is super important. Make sure to have no selected. Okay. Now, with the AI already selected for both, all I have to do is commentate this game. That's all I got to do. All right. Looks like the A's are favored in this game. So, wow, nice matchup too. Lefty Grove and Mort Cooper, two Hall of Famers going after each other. Lefty Grove, obviously, probably the more well-known name. But, ooh, sexy. Okay, but I'm going to cancel. I'm going to back. Okay, so nothing's happened, right? If I go back to playoff coverage, and I go to playoff tree, which I love the playoff tree, you can see that nothing happened with the game, right? I hope that's helped you guys, and way to go, 1922 Brownies, right? In fact, they're the only second place team in this whole shebang, but that tells you how good the St. Louis Browns are, because again, they only finished a game back of the very powerful Yanks that year. And you had Sisler and Ken Williams, and you had some crazy, crazy things going on. I hope that I have answered questions. I've gone over a lot. I have to go in and set ballparks for this thing. I'm not going to do it right now. Probably do that later. So that's it, and I will, as soon as I exit out of this, I'll get this uploaded, and hopefully you guys will be well on your way. Please don't be afraid to ask questions. I love to answer questions. I want to be as helpful as possible to the community. Set yourself up a tournament and commentate those games. Worry about, maybe do a season later. Do one of these, right? Do a tournament. They're really fun. See who's going to make it to the World Series, because every team here a monster. Okay. Parting thought about out of the park baseball. I said, I want to do one more thing, just real quickly, and then I'll go. We're going to go to a different ball game. Parting shot though about out of the park baseball. It gives you every damn season you want. Negro leagues, minor leagues. The only thing it doesn't have is the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. Maybe someday we'll see it. I don't know. They're going to have to put in new 3D models for those, for obvious reasons, dirt in the skirt. Okay? So now, but the thing is the interface. And so many questions because of out of the park, how do you do this? How do you do that? Is because the interface is, well, it's Byzantine. But it's gotten better. I did a video of Out of the Park 8, which is available for free. You can't do stuff like this to this extent, but it's still excellent, great play-by-play. But if you think this interface is tricky, whoa, Out of the Park 8, even trickier. Still fun, and once you get the hang of it, you got it. You know, that's like me. A lot of times we'll just use these because we know these. They all have call-outs though, so even if you wanted to learn, you could. All right, so because I don't want a black screen, I'm going to see if OBS can handle this. And I'm going to bring up Action PC, and I'm going to show you really quickly for commentating why Action PC is really, really a sweet game and really, really a lot easier in a sense, because you don't even have to look at the play-by-play in Action PC. And I know I'm doing this the weird way, but it is just what I got. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to start it up. I don't need that anymore. Okay, now I am going to switch. Hopefully this is going to let me do this. Oh, it did. How nice is that? Okay, cool. All right, so now I'm in Out of the Park baseball, And just to save resources, I'm going to save one more time in Out of the Park and exit that, and then I'm going to show you how nice commentating any game you want in Action PC is. It's really, really cool. I'm not going to play a game though. The reason being is Action PC does something weird that I don't like, and I'll show you that in a second. Maybe show you that. All right, so now we're looking at the Action PC screen. Okay. So here we have the day's games, and this is an all-times great franchise league. And again, you guys all know how Action PC works, I hope, so I don't have to get into that. So I want to go to play. I want to play scheduled league game, and I'm thinking, yes, this didn't show it, so let me do a quick window capture of this. Let me add a window capture so that you can see this. I know there's a way you can do a game capture on this, but it never seems to work for me. I don't know why. I think that, yeah, I think that it just hates me sometimes, man. Okay, let's see. Right? So, yeah, I like that. That looks nice. Okay, so let me make sure. Yeah, that should be what you're seeing. Oh, it is what you're seeing because I'm not streaming. And let's just do edit, transform, and fit the screen so you guys can see what's going on. Okay, cool. So let me get back to this. So, if you can see my cursor, and if you can't, just look at the screen. So there's Tigers, Blue Jays. Now, here's what's really cool about this. If you go over in front of each team, you're either going to see an H or a C. So let me switch all these. Yeah, game's been played. Okay, yeah, got it. Right? C means computer, so this is computer versus computer. If I click H on any one of these, so let's say I wanted to, well, okay, let's say I want to do the Cubs and Reds, and I want to manage the Cubs. All I got to do, there. Now it's ready to go. So if I click play, which I'm not going to do, but if I click play, it's going to go into the game, and I'm going to be managing the Chicago Cubs versus the Cincinnati Reds. I'm going to switch this back to C because I have no interest really in managing that, but I do want to set the Tigers and the Tigers and Pirates back. The reason is that then for all the other ones, so for me, you can see that I have 3 teams that I'm doing human managing, right? Tigers, Pirates, Giants. Well, let's say I finish the Tigers games and then I just do April 25th only to play through everything. It will play the computer versus computer games, but then when it comes up with the human games, but I decide, oh, geez, I don't want to play that. So I have to go through all that right after the lineups are set. Then when I close the game, what happens is the game isn't played, right? It treats it as a canceled game. So what it does is it just advances the next day, so you lose your starters, right? So then your next starter goes in and it messes up your rotation. So I've learned now that I need to, sort of check on what I want to do. So now I'm leaving it. It's back to Pirates and Tigers. So if you're streaming games in Action PC, make sure you do your human games, get them out of the way, then let the rest of the day play out. But I like the fact that you can just pick whoever you want to manage. This is really nice in Action PC. You don't have to go through that big dance like you had to in Out of the Park baseball. It's just there. However, you don't get everything with Action PC. The game, even Dave, really reasonable with the seasons. You can ask Al and I, and I'm sure Ron Juckett, how much money you can sink into this game to get the seasons. So, but that said, it's superb. Guys, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to get this thing uploaded. So if anybody thinks you missed a stream, you didn't. Okay, so I'm going to get this uploaded. I hope this answers some questions. Again, it was a lot. If you have more questions, leave them in the comments in this video, okay? All right, guys, talk soon. Going to be streaming some games tonight, all right? So signing off here, January 8th.